Okay, so QR codes. They're literally everywhere, right? Connecting our physical world to the digital one. But here's the thing. Are you really using them to their full potential, or are they just there? Let's talk about how to turn that simple black square into one of your most powerful marketing assets. I want you to think about your own QR codes for a second. Are they just these generic, kind of boring black boxes that do a job, or are they actively working for your brand, pulling people in, and actually delivering results you can measure? Because believe me, there's a huge difference, and that's exactly what we're going to break down.
And this is the difference we're talking about, right here. On the left, you've got the standard, forgettable code. We see it a million times a day. But on the right, that's a branded code. It's instantly recognizable, it builds trust, and honestly, it just looks way more inviting to scan. So let's get you from the left to the right.
So, the very first step is really just a little shift in your mindset. We've got to stop seeing the QR code as a simple utility, like a barcode, and start seeing it for what it truly is, a massive opportunity to connect with your audience. Before you even think about picking colors or adding a logo, the absolute most important first step is to decide on its purpose. You have to ask yourself, what is the one single thing I want someone to do the second they scan this code? And your goal has to be super specific. Are you trying to get them to a landing page? Or maybe watch a product demo? Sign up for your email list? Download your app? Just linking to your generic homepage, that's not going to cut it anymore. You need a targeted destination that actually delivers on the promise of the scan. And here's a pro tip that honestly is non-negotiable. You have to use a trackable link. Why? Because if you can't measure who's scanning, when they're scanning, and what they do next, you're basically flying blind. This is how you prove that your QR code is actually working for you. Okay, so once you know your why, then we get to move on to the fun part, the design. This is where we make the code look awesome and make it unmistakably yours. What's so cool about this is how simple these tweaks are, but how huge their impact is. Popping your logo in the middle, that builds instant trust. Using your brand colors makes it feel like it belongs to you. Just make sure you have enough contrast. You can even play with the shapes of the little dots in the frame. And this is critical. Always leave that quiet zone, that little bit of white space around the edge, so phones can scan it easily. But listen, a great design is only half the battle. You have to tell people why they should bother scanning it. A clear call to action, or CTA, right next to the code. Something like, scan to save 20%. It removes all the guesswork and gives them a really good reason to pull out their phone. Okay, I really cannot stress this enough. Before you print 1,000 flyers or stick that code on a giant billboard, please test it. Test it on an iPhone, test it on an Android, test it in bright sunshine and in a dark room. A code that looks absolutely perfect on your computer screen could be a total dud in the real world. So test, test, test. All right, so we've covered all the things you should do. Now let's quickly go over what not to do. Seriously, just avoiding these simple mistakes can be the difference between a campaign that soars and one that's a total waste of money. Some of these might seem like common sense, but you'd be surprised how often they happen. The number one mistake? Linking to a website that isn't mobile friendly. Just remember, people are scanning with their phones. Another classic oops is making the code too small to scan. You want to aim for at least 1-inch square in print. Low contrast colors, forgetting that CTA we talked about, they're all simple fixes, but they are all so important. So, the big question, does all this effort actually work? Well, let's look at a fantastic real-world example that proves just how powerful a well-designed QR code can be. So here's the setup. Picture this. A coffee shop in Boise puts a custom green QR code with their logo right in the middle on all their to-go cups. And the call to action is just simple and brilliant. Scan to earn free coffee. It's specific, it's branded, and it gives the customer a clear reason to scan. So what happened? The results were pretty amazing. In just 1 month, that little code on their coffee cups brought in over 600 new signups for their loyalty program. That's an incredible return for such a simple, smart change. And to put that number into perspective, this QR code campaign didn't just work. It quadrupled their loyalty program's growth compared to their normal email campaigns. 4 times. That is the power of turning a simple utility into a real strategic opportunity. So really, when it comes down to it, this is the main takeaway. A QR code isn't just a pattern of squares.
Think of it as a marketing bridge, one that connects your physical stuff directly to your digital results. When you design it with purpose, when you brand it with intention, and you give people a really clear reason to cross it, you can guide them exactly where you want them to go. So the only question left is, what bridge will yours build?